we have a new process in this phase of the negotiations. What are the steps until 12th of January? And specifically, do we need an agreement on each stage to move to the next? For example, it must be reached an agreement on the criteria of the territory to move to the next step, which is the conference on Cyprus.
Since Monday, the negotiators have met again, and they are meeting 3 times a week, and they will continue to do so all until the week before Geneva. And then on Monday, the 9th of January, we will meet in Geneva with the sides only, and the UN, of course, to discuss what is then the outstanding issues that can be dealt with by the Cypriots without international involvement as much as possible. And from the 12th, we will have the international conference, which we now call the Conference on Cyprus. We haven't specifically said that one thing has to be done before the other, but of course the ambition is to close all issues as much as humanly possible. And if we need to bring something with us beyond that, it has to be as few issues as possible. But my sense is that the fact that we now have a date triggers a type of activity which couldn't really happen without a date. So it has a positive effect on the will to start accommodating even on the most difficult issues. So I am quite confident that we will see, not only in Geneva, but even until Geneva, clarity on issues that have been difficult to solve so far.
There is already a lot of discussion about the conference on Cyprus. According to UN, who will participate? It's going to be a 5-party conference. Where will be the Republic of Cyprus? And how will it be decided if, for example, the P5 and European Union will participate?
So we call it the Conference on Cyprus, which means we are neither using multi-party or 5-party any longer. We now call it the Conference on Cyprus. And what is absolutely clear is that the Turkish Cypriots, the Greek Cypriots, Greece, Turkey and the UK will be there. That goes without saying. Which other participants will be there and in what role is something we still have to finally decide. For instance, a key actor in this role will be the European Union, given that the European Union, the United Cyprus will in its totality belong to the European Union, and hence there are EU issues. Beyond that, there will still be some discussions about format.
Who will decide? And how?
It's the United Nations at the level of the Secretary General that invites this conference. So formally speaking, it's the UN. But of course, the UN will do so in a close consultation with the 2 sides, because the process here in Cyprus is owned by the Cypriots, and we are there to support them.
How do you see the factor Cyprus, Republic of Cyprus, regarding the conference?
Well, this is one of these issues that we will continue to discuss, and of course we will have an answer to that, but I will not go into that at this stage.
Someone can expect that it will be a representation of the Republic of Cyprus for this conference?
Well, what I can say is that the treaties, the Treaty of Guarantee, the Treaty of Alliance and the Treaty of Establishment are treaties that has 4 parties. It's the 3 guarantors and Cyprus. And when any change will happen, it needs 4, not 3 pence. The question, of course, is when these formal changes will have to happen, whether it will happen at the time prior to unification or at the time of unification, because that influences who, not which pen it is. It will be the pen of Cyprus, but whether it's now the federal Cyprus or it is prior to that. So the answer is not that simple, because it depends on how the negotiations are structured, and this is something we will have to come back to. At some moment, we need also Cyprus to be a signature of whatever comes out of this, of course.
At the moment of the solution or prior?
This is something we have to decide as we are now continuing to prepare the conference. It depends on how we structure the discussions.
Okay.
And this is, of course, no secret that there are more than one view on that issue, and that's something we have to solve.
At the conference, the parties will negotiate about everything. All issues on which the 2 sides still have disagreements will be on the table.
Yes, in the sense that if we see the totality of the first meeting from the 9th and what starts on the 12th, within that realm, we will. The ambition is to solve all issues. When we are solving that issue or the other is again something that has to do with the continued planning for this conference.